The sky over Earth was clear that morning, and humans went about their daily lives without any idea that their world was about to change forever. In the cities, cars moved along crowded streets, children played in parks, and families had breakfast together. Life felt ordinary, safe, and familiar. But far above, in the black emptiness of space, something extraordinary was unfolding, something that no human could have imagined. The first signs came as strange signals on every communication channel. News networks interrupted their regular programs to show a broadcast from a place humans had never seen, the Intergalactic Council's headquarters. The Council represented every known intelligent species in the galaxy, each one far more advanced than humans. Their appearance on screens across Earth made people stop and stare. A tall, blue-skinned diplomat appeared first. She had eyes that seemed to glow with intelligence, and her voice was calm but powerful. "Citizens of Earth," she said, "the Intergalactic Council has made a decision regarding your planet." Confusion spread. What decision could alien beings make that affected every human? The next words shocked the world. After careful deliberation, the Council has voted to place Earth under control. Your species will no longer govern itself. You will become subjects of the Council and serve under its guidance. The room erupted in panic. Families clutched each other. Governments called emergency meetings. Scientists, military leaders, and ordinary citizens struggled to understand what had just happened. A vote among alien civilizations had decided the fate of all humanity, and it was not in their favor. The Council's broadcast continued. "This decision is not made out of malice," the diplomat said. "It is based on your rapid development of technologies that could affect entire star systems. The Council has determined that humans are unpredictable. For the safety of the galaxy, Earth must be controlled." The words were chilling. Humans were being punished not for wrongdoing, but for potential. It was as if being clever and strong made them dangerous. World leaders tried to respond quickly. Emergency councils were held in the capitals of every nation. Military forces scrambled jets and ships into the sky, but they were no match for the fleets suddenly appearing in orbit. Ships larger than cities, armed with unimaginable power, hovered above the planet. Humanity had never faced such a threat. Yet amid the chaos, a different kind of reaction emerged. A group of scientists, engineers, and military strategists refused to believe that humans were powerless. Among them was Dr. Maria Torres, a brilliant engineer who had spent her life studying energy systems and space travel. Alongside her was Colonel Carlos Vega, a former soldier known for thinking quickly under pressure. Together they formed a coalition. "We can't fight them with guns," Maria said. "We don't have enough technology and their numbers are too great. But we have something they don't: creativity, unpredictability, and unity." Carlos nodded. "Humans adapt. We think in ways they don't expect. We need to use that." The coalition quickly set up a command center in a hidden location deep underground. They began studying the alien fleets, listening to their communications and analyzing the patterns of their ships. Every day they learned more about the aliens' technology and weaknesses. While the world panicked, these humans were preparing a plan that could turn the tables. Meanwhile, people across the planet reacted in their own ways. Some were scared, some angry, and some inspired. Children drew pictures of humans standing tall against the stars. Teachers explained to their students that courage and intelligence were the most powerful weapons. Scientists published ideas about using the Earth's natural resources in clever ways to confuse or slow down the aliens. The Council's fleets didn't attack immediately. They expected humans to surrender, assuming that a species so young in galactic terms would not resist. They had underestimated humanity's ability to unite in the face of danger. Maria and her team discovered that Earth's magnetic field could interfere with some alien energy shields. If they could harness this properly, it might allow humans to disrupt alien weapons temporarily. It was a small advantage, but it could mean the difference between life and death. Carlos organized volunteers from across the planet. Farmers, engineers, students, and former soldiers trained together, learning to operate equipment, build defensive systems, and respond quickly to emergencies. Cities were mapped, tunnels were reinforced, and communication networks were secured. Humanity was preparing for the first strike in ways the aliens could not predict. On the day the first alien ships moved closer to Earth's surface, humanity was ready. But the Council's forces were confident. Their ships gleamed in the sunlight as they descended from orbit. Alien drones hovered above the cities, scanning for life forms and strategic points. Humans watched in fear but also with determination. Then, something unexpected happened. The coalition activated their first defense system. Massive holograms appeared in the sky, making entire cities look abandoned or filled with phantom buildings. Drones moved silently, invisible to the alien sensors, creating patterns that confused the enemy. The alien ships fired their energy beams expecting resistance, but their weapons hit nothing. The shields they had relied on failed to detect the humans hiding underground or moving through tunnels. The Council's commanders were surprised and frustrated. The species they thought would surrender had instead outsmarted them in the first moments of battle. Maria watched the monitors, her fingers flying over controls. "It's working," she said. "They can't find our positions. Every time they try to attack, we stay one step ahead." Carlos smiled grimly. "This is only the beginning. They'll come back stronger, but they don't know what humans are capable of." Across the planet, ordinary people joined in the effort in small but meaningful ways. Scientists repaired old satellites and used them to jam alien communications. Engineers built hidden shelters and tunnels to protect civilians. Farmers and builders created traps and camouflage using the environment. Humanity was fighting not with the most advanced weapons, but with creativity, courage, and teamwork. The Council's broadcasts continued, showing their frustration. "This species resists despite our technology. They are more unpredictable than anticipated." That unpredictability was humanity's greatest strength. No alien had ever faced a species so capable of improvisation and adaptation. Humans could think, feel, and unite in ways the Council could not calculate. By the end of the first day, the aliens had withdrawn temporarily. They did not expect the humans to be so clever. Maria, Carlos, and the Coalition watched the sky, knowing this was only the first phase of a long struggle. Humanity had survived the first attack, not by matching alien strength, but by using intelligence, strategy, and the human spirit. As night fell, people across Earth looked at the stars. Fear was still there, but so was hope. For the first time, humans realized that they were not powerless. They could fight, they could resist, and they could protect their world. Maria turned to Carlos. "We've shown them what humans can do, but tomorrow we have to do even more. We have to remind them why no species should underestimate Earth." Carlos nodded. "And we will. Humanity has survived everything before. This is just another challenge, and we will rise." The night was quiet, but beneath the calm surface, the planet was alive with preparation, courage, and determination. Humanity had been warned, threatened, and almost enslaved, but it would not surrender. In the face of the galaxy's might, the human spirit burned brighter than ever. The first battle was over, but the war for Earth had only just begun. The morning after the first alien attack, Earth was not silent. While cities had returned to a semblance of normalcy, the people knew that nothing would ever be the same. The alien fleets had hovered above the planet, testing humanity's defenses, and though they had been forced to retreat temporarily, the Council's representatives made it clear they would return, stronger and more determined. Dr. Maria Torres and Colonel Carlos Vega convened a meeting with the coalition leaders in the underground command center. Screens lined the walls, showing satellite images, alien fleet movements, and maps of major cities. The air was thick with tension, but also with determination. "We survived the first strike," Maria said, pointing at the screens. "But we cannot rely on luck again. They will adjust, and we must adjust faster. We need a plan that uses every advantage we have, our creativity, our unpredictability, and the very planet itself." Carlos added, "Humans think differently. We don't follow patterns like machines. They expect us to act logically, predictably. We will use that against them. We need decoys, traps, and tactics they cannot anticipate." The coalition began working tirelessly. Engineers created holographic projections that made entire cities appear deserted or completely different from reality. Drones were programmed to move silently and simulate human activity where none existed. Farmers and builders across Earth joined by planting camouflage or constructing underground shelters, turning familiar landscapes into confusing labyrinths for alien sensors. Maria turned her attention to the alien ships themselves. After analyzing the fleet's energy patterns, she discovered a critical weakness. The aliens' shields were sensitive to electromagnetic pulses. By using Earth's natural magnetic field in a precise way, it was possible to disrupt their shields temporarily. This could allow humans to disable or confuse alien ships without direct confrontation. "We have a way to hit them where it hurts," Maria told Carlos, "but it will require precise coordination. One mistake and the consequences will be catastrophic." Carlos nodded. "Then we train everyone to be perfect. Humans have survived worse. We can do this." Meanwhile, ordinary people contributed in remarkable ways. Students and hobbyists built small drones that could fly undetected through alien ships' sensors, gathering valuable information. Scientists hacked alien communication channels, learning how the Council coordinated its attacks. People who had never held a weapon before were now part of a global effort to protect their world. Across the planet, civilians were learning a lesson the aliens would never understand. Humans could turn ordinary objects and environments into weapons or tools for survival. City streets were filled with hidden traps, forests became natural barriers, and even rivers and mountains were used to confuse enemy scanners. Humanity's ingenuity was becoming its strongest defense. Then came the first counterattack. A fleet of alien drones approached a coastal city expecting an easy strike. But the coalition had prepared a surprise. Maria activated the electromagnetic system, sending a pulse through the local magnetic field. Alien shields flickered and failed, leaving the ships vulnerable. At the same time, holographic projections made it appear that the city was empty, confusing the drones further. From underground shelters, humans launched small but effective attacks. Drones sabotaged alien engines, while engineers sent automated messages that disrupted alien communication. The aliens were taken off guard. They had underestimated humans, and their confidence began to waver. Carlos watched the operation from the command center, his eyes scanning every monitor. "They don't know what's real and what's fake," he said. "Every time they try to strike, we are one step ahead." But the humans were careful. Their goal was not to destroy the aliens entirely. They knew that was impossible. Their goal was to survive, confuse the enemy, and prove that Earth could not be controlled. Every victory, no matter how small, became a lesson in strategy, creativity, and unity. Maria and her team also discovered another advantage: humans could adapt in real time. Alien technology was sophisticated, but it relied on patterns and expectations. When humans acted unpredictably, changing tactics, using the environment creatively, or responding in unexpected ways, the aliens struggled to keep up. Across the planet, communities were learning this lesson as well. In one city, engineers diverted a river into a dry canyon to create a natural barrier for alien drones. In another, volunteers set up mirrors and lights to create illusions of human activity in empty streets. Every small action added to the larger strategy. Humanity's strength was no longer just weapons or shields. It was their ability to think, adapt, and act together. As the weeks passed, the aliens attempted another strike, this time targeting major industrial areas. They expected chaos and surrender. Instead, they found the humans prepared. Cities seemed empty, but drones and volunteers moved silently beneath streets and rooftops. Electromagnetic pulses disabled alien shields temporarily, while small human-made machines disrupted their communications. The aliens were frustrated. Their weapons hit nothing, and their sensors could not locate the humans. In the command center, Maria and Carlos shared a brief moment of relief.
"They are learning," Maria said.
"They think they understand us, but they don't. That's our advantage." Carlos nodded. "And we will keep it that way. Humans are more than soldiers and machines. We are thinkers, creators, and problem solvers. That is what makes us dangerous." Even as humans celebrated small victories, they did not become overconfident. The coalition knew that the Council would return with more powerful ships and more cunning strategies. Every day they trained, studied alien technology, and tested new ideas. Humanity's defense became a living system, constantly evolving, adapting, and learning from every encounter. One evening, Maria stood outside the command center, looking at the stars. The sky was filled with alien ships in orbit, their lights shining like distant fireflies. She thought of the billions of humans on Earth, each contributing in their own way: engineers, farmers, students, soldiers, and ordinary citizens. Together, they had become a force that even the greatest civilizations of the galaxy could not ignore. Carlos joined her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "We are stronger than they think," he said. "Not because of weapons, but because we are human. We can think, adapt, and act in ways no machine or alien strategy can predict." That is our real strength, Maria smiled. And we will use it. The Council may have thought Earth was easy to conquer, but they were wrong. Humanity will fight, survive, and prove that no species should underestimate this planet. The Coalition continued to prepare. New strategies were developed, combining technology, human ingenuity, and the natural environment. Schools taught students how to think critically and solve problems under pressure. Cities installed hidden tunnels, emergency shelters, and communication networks. Humans were learning to see every corner of the planet as part of a defensive system, turning Earth itself into a weapon of creativity and survival. Then, late at night, a warning signal flashed across all Coalition screens. Alien ships were moving closer. This time the Council was sending their elite fleet, confident that the humans could not survive a direct confrontation. Maria and Carlos exchanged a determined glance. "They think they know us," Maria said. "But humans are full of surprises. They are about to learn that intelligence, courage, and unity cannot be defeated." As the alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, they were met with unexpected resistance. Electromagnetic pulses disabled shields. Holographic illusions masked human positions, and drones sabotaged critical systems. The aliens found themselves confused, frustrated, and unprepared. Every strike they attempted failed, not because humans had more firepower, but because humans thought differently, acted unpredictably, and worked together in ways no alien had expected. By dawn, the elite fleet had retreated, shocked at the humans' resilience. Across the planet, humans celebrated quietly, knowing that survival had once again been achieved not by brute force, but by ingenuity and spirit. Maria looked at Carlos and said, "They are learning that Earth is not an easy target. But this is only the beginning. We have to stay ready, stay smart, and keep surprising them. Humanity has only just begun to show its true strength." Carlos nodded. "And we will. They may have the numbers and the technology, but we have something stronger. We have creativity, courage, and the will to protect our home. That is something no species can take from us." The sun rose over a planet that had faced a galactic threat and had survived. Humanity had shown that even in the face of unimaginable danger, the human spirit, intelligence, and unity could turn the tide. Earth had survived, but the war was far from over, and as humans looked to the sky, they realized something powerful. They were no longer just inhabitants of a small planet. They were a species capable of standing against the galaxy itself, and proving that Earth would never be conquered without a fight. The weeks following humanity's clever defense were intense. Alien fleets circled Earth, observing, probing, and trying to understand how a seemingly primitive species could resist their technology. The Intergalactic Council had underestimated humans, and now the consequences were becoming clear. Dr. Maria Torres and Colonel Carlos Vega met daily with the Coalition. Maps and monitors filled the underground command center, showing alien fleet movements, projected attack paths, and simulations of potential battles. Every day the humans learned more about the aliens, and every day they adapted. "We've studied their patterns," Maria said, pointing at a holographic map. "They always approach the same way. They expect us to respond predictably. But humans don't follow patterns." "That is our advantage," Carlos nodded. "It's time to take the fight to them in ways they won't expect. We can't destroy their entire fleet, but we can disrupt their plans, confuse them, and show the galaxy that Earth will never be ruled." The Coalition began planning daring operations. Instead of waiting for attacks, humans would strike first, using small teams equipped with stealth technology and adapted drones. Engineers modified drones to mimic alien signals, allowing them to infiltrate enemy ships undetected. Volunteers trained for boarding operations, sabotage, and intelligence gathering. In one operation, a team led by Maria and Carlos targeted a smaller fleet stationed above the Pacific Ocean. The humans deployed holographic decoys to distract the aliens, while drones approached the ships from unusual angles. Electromagnetic pulses temporarily disabled the alien shields, giving humans a chance to board and gather critical data. Inside the alien ships, humans moved quietly, carefully avoiding detection. They observed advanced technology, communication systems, and ship layouts, sending back detailed reports to the command center. With this knowledge, the Coalition began turning alien technology against them. Back on Earth, the people were part of the effort in their own ways. Scientists hacked alien communication channels, spreading false information to confuse enemy commanders. Engineers built devices to interfere with energy weapons, Even ordinary citizens contributed by setting up decoys, monitoring drones, and preparing safe zones for civilians. Every successful operation strengthened humanity's confidence. They were no longer passive defenders. They were innovators and strategists who could challenge the galaxy's most advanced species. Then came a critical breakthrough. Maria discovered a method to manipulate the alien fleet's energy flow using Earth's magnetic field combined with specially designed drones. This allowed humans to temporarily disable weapons and navigation systems on the largest alien ships. "This is it," Maria said, her eyes shining. "With this we can protect entire cities and launch counterattacks without risking everything." Carlos smiled. "And we will. Humanity doesn't just survive. We adapt, we innovate, and we fight back. That is what makes us dangerous." The first major counterattack began at dawn. Alien ships approached a major city on the eastern coast, confident that their advanced technology would overwhelm humans. Instead, they found themselves facing an unexpected resistance. Holograms made the city appear deserted, drones disrupted sensors, and electromagnetic pulses disabled weapons. Meanwhile, teams of humans infiltrated alien ships, gathering intelligence and subtly sabotaging systems. Alien commanders were confused and frustrated. Every strike they planned failed. Every movement was countered, and they began to question their assumptions. At the command center, Maria and Carlos watched the operations unfold. "They still think humans are predictable," Maria said. "They don't realize that we can think differently, act creatively, and adapt faster than they expect." Carlos nodded. "This is what humans do. We survive against the odds. We find solutions when none seem possible, and we are proving that to the galaxy." The counterattacks continued. Small but well-coordinated operations targeted alien supply lines, communication networks, and key ships. Humans never aimed to destroy the fleet entirely. They lacked the numbers, but they demonstrated that Earth could resist, disrupt, and fight back in unexpected ways. As the aliens retreated from their initial attack, word of Earth's resistance began spreading across the galaxy. Some species, previously loyal to the Council, began to doubt the wisdom of enslaving a planet capable of such clever and organized defense. Whispers of admiration for humanity's ingenuity began to circulate, even among those who had once considered humans weak. On Earth, civilians celebrated quietly, but remained focused. Schools continued to teach critical thinking and problem-solving. Factories and labs worked on new defensive technologies. Communities trained volunteers for emergencies. Humanity was evolving into a species capable of standing against threats far beyond its home planet. Then a surprising development occurred. Some alien species began secretly contacting the humans, offering intelligence and guidance. They had opposed the Council's decision to enslave Earth and now saw humanity as a species worth protecting. Maria and Carlos carefully received this information, realizing that alliances could be formed even among species previously thought hostile. "Not everyone in the galaxy wants us to fail," Maria said. "Some species respect courage, ingenuity, and determination. We can use this to our advantage," Carlos agreed. "But we must be careful. Trust is earned, not given. We use the help wisely and continue to show that humans are not to be underestimated." The coalition's strategy evolved. Humanity began combining its creativity, knowledge, and alliances to launch operations that were more effective and harder for the aliens to predict. Cities became fortresses of clever defense. Rivers and forests were used strategically, and underground networks allowed humans to move freely without detection. When the Council realized that humans were not only defending, but also attacking in unexpected ways, panic spread among their ranks. Alien fleets hesitated, unsure of how to proceed while humans continued to learn, adapt, and innovate. One evening, Maria received a message from a young volunteer working on a drone project. The boy had discovered a way to redirect alien energy beams back toward their own ships. Maria smiled, thinking of the countless humans contributing in small but meaningful ways. Every invention, every idea, and every act of courage added to humanity's growing strength. Carlos watched the sky as alien ships hovered above. "They thought they could conquer us easily," he said. "But they didn't account for one thing: humans will never give up. We are clever, resourceful, and united. That is why we are winning," Maria nodded. "And it is only the beginning. We will continue to turn their technology against them. disrupt their strategies, and show the galaxy that Earth is not a planet to be controlled. We are alive, capable, and ready to defend our home. The following week saw an increase in human operations against alien fleets. Every engagement taught humans more about alien technology, strategy, and weaknesses. The Council's confidence began to waver, replaced by caution and uncertainty. For the first time, a species once considered primitive was demonstrating that it could challenge the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. By the end of Part 3, humanity had shifted the balance. No longer were they merely defending Earth. They were showing the galaxy that they were intelligent, adaptable, and unstoppable when united. Maria and Carlos stood together, looking at the monitors filled with maps, fleet positions, and live data from ongoing missions. "They don't know what to expect from us next," Maria said. "And that is our greatest strength," Carlos smiled. "Exactly. Humans think differently. We adapt, we create, we survive, and the Council is learning that no force in the galaxy can control Earth without understanding that first." The planet slept beneath the stars, but it was far from peaceful. Humans were awake, working tirelessly, ready to meet the next challenge with courage, intelligence, and unity. The war for Earth had turned in humanity's favor, but the ultimate test was still ahead, and humanity was ready. The story of Earth's resistance was no longer about fear. It was about hope, determination, and the unstoppable power of the human spirit. The Intergalactic Council had never faced a species like humans. Every plan they devised to subdue Earth had failed. Every strike they launched had been countered with unexpected tactics. Every expectation they held about humans had been proven wrong. What had once seemed like an easy conquest was now a nightmare for the Council. In the Council's chamber, representatives from dozens of alien species argued heatedly. The room, a massive structure floating in the void of space, was filled with holographic maps of Earth, alien fleets, and the data from recent engagements. The Council leader, a tall being with silver skin and eyes that seemed to reflect galaxies, slammed a clawed hand on the table. "This is unacceptable," the leader shouted. "We cannot allow a single species to defy the Council. Prepare the elite fleet. I want Earth brought under control by any means necessary." Other members hesitated. Some had begun to question the wisdom of enforcing the vote at all. Reports from scouts indicated that humans were not only resisting, but also gaining allies, even from species previously loyal to the Council. Some alien diplomats whispered among themselves, suggesting that Earth might not be a threat to be destroyed, but a species to be respected. Meanwhile, on Earth, Maria Torres and Colonel Carlos Vega were aware of the Council's desperation. The coalition had gathered intelligence from intercepted communications and monitored fleet movements. Every day they saw the Council's frustration grow, and every day humanity's confidence increased. "They are desperate," Maria said, pointing at a display showing alien fleet patterns. "They don't understand us. They think they can intimidate us, but intimidation only makes humans stronger. We need to keep showing them that fear does not control Earth." Carlos nodded. "We need to be bold. Not reckless, but bold. The more they see human strength and creativity, the more uncertain they become. Uncertainty is their weakness. We can use it." The coalition planned a series of demonstrations to remind the Council and the galaxy of humanity's unique strengths. It was not about destruction or war. It was about showing intelligence, courage, and unity. Cities became showcases of innovation and strategy. Engineers projected holograms of entire metropolises, turning ordinary streets into confusing mazes for alien sensors. Factories operated with precision to create automated defense drones. Communities set up emergency shelters and communication networks to ensure every citizen could contribute. One of the most daring demonstrations involved a remote desert region. The coalition set up a series of drones equipped with lights, sensors, and holographic projectors. When the alien fleet approached, the drones created an illusion of massive armies and cities that did not exist. From orbit, the aliens saw what seemed like overwhelming human defenses. Confused and cautious, they hesitated, giving humanity a psychological advantage. Maria and Carlos watched the operation unfold in real time. "They can't tell what is real," Maria said with a smile. "Every strike they plan will fail, because they are unsure of what they are seeing." "That is our advantage," Carlos nodded. "Humans have always thrived in uncertainty. We adapt, we improvise, and we survive. That is why they cannot conquer Earth." Even as humans prepared these bold demonstrations, ordinary citizens played a critical role. Students monitored drones, engineers maintained communication networks, and volunteers ensured the safety of local populations. Every person contributed in a meaningful way, proving that humanity's strength was not just in its leaders or technology, but in its collective spirit. The Council grew more desperate with each failed attempt to intimidate Earth. They deployed elite ships with advanced weaponry, hoping to crush human defenses. But every operation backfired. Electromagnetic pulses disabled alien shields, holograms misled enemy sensors, and drones disrupted critical systems. The Council could not understand how a single species could anticipate their strategies and act with such precision and creativity. Reports reached the Council chamber that humans were also forming alliances with other species. Diplomatic messages arrived secretly from civilizations that opposed the Council's decision to enslave Earth. These allies provided intelligence about fleet movements, technology weaknesses, and even offered suggestions for counter-strategies. In a secret meeting, Maria reviewed this information. "We are not alone," she said. "Some species see the truth. They see that humans are not to be controlled but respected. We must use this wisely. Trust is rare and we cannot make mistakes," Carlos agreed. "This is another demonstration of human strength. We can think strategically, plan carefully, and build alliances. The Council cannot predict or control all of this. They are losing authority and they know it." The next demonstration was even more ambitious. Humans coordinated efforts across multiple continents. Cities were illuminated with holographic projections. Forests were used to hide key positions, and rivers and mountains became natural barriers. Volunteers ensured that every movement was precise, every plan synchronized. From space, the alien fleet saw what appeared to be a highly organized species, capable of extraordinary coordination. The Council's elite fleet approached cautiously, unsure of what to expect. Every step they took was met with innovative defenses. Drones disrupted their sensors, electromagnetic pulses disabled weapons, and holographic projections created illusions of cities, armies, and technology that did not exist. The aliens were bewildered. They had anticipated resistance, but nothing like this. Maria and Carlos watched the operations from the command center. "They thought we would surrender or hide," Maria said. "But we are showing them that humans are capable, fearless, and united. That is our true power," Carlos added. "The Council's desperation is our advantage. The more uncertain they are, the more mistakes they make. And humans thrive on turning challenges into opportunities. Even as the Council struggled, they could not ignore humanity's achievements. Reports of bold operations, clever defenses, and successful intelligence missions reached species across the galaxy. Some civilizations began to question the Council's original vote. Why punish a species capable of such innovation, courage, and strategic thinking? Humans were no longer seen as weak. They were becoming a model of resilience and intelligence. On Earth, citizens were inspired by these successes. Communities trained, students studied science and strategy, and volunteers prepared for emergencies. Humanity was learning that survival depended not only on technology, but on creativity, unity, and courage. The Council attempted one last intimidating maneuver. A massive fleet of warships approached Earth's orbit, expecting compliance or fear. But humans responded with a coordinated display of ingenuity. Electromagnetic fields, drones, and holograms disrupted sensors and communications. Human-made machines turned the environment into an unpredictable challenge for the aliens. Their weapons hit nothing, their strategies failed, and their confidence began to crumble. Maria turned to Carlos. "They are desperate. They thought fear would work, but humans do not surrender to fear. We are showing the galaxy that Earth cannot be controlled, only respected." Carlos nodded. "And that is the lesson they will never forget. Humans are unpredictable, adaptable, and courageous. That is why we are winning, not by brute force, but by intelligence, strategy, and unity." By the end of the demonstration, the Council had no choice but to withdraw temporarily. Their elite fleet retreated, leaving humanity to consolidate its defenses and prepare for future encounters. The message was clear. Earth was not a planet to be conquered. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. Maria and Carlos stood together, looking at the monitors filled with real-time data. "We have shown them what humans are capable of," Maria said. "Not just with weapons, but with intelligence, creativity, and unity. That is our greatest strength," Carlos smiled. and we will continue to show it. The council may have thought they could intimidate us, but humans are more than they expected. We adapt, we innovate, and we protect our home. That is something no species can take from us. As night fell over Earth, the planet seemed calm, but beneath the surface, preparation continued. Humans were awake, working, thinking, and learning. Every citizen contributed in their own way, proving that humanity's strength was not just in leaders or machines, but in every individual's courage, intelligence, and dedication. The council had been warned. Humans were not a species to be controlled or intimidated. They were a species capable of remarkable creativity, strategic thinking, and bravery. And as the stars shone above, humanity knew one thing with certainty: the galaxy would never forget the power of the human spirit. The galaxy had watched Earth with amazement. What had once been considered a primitive planet had transformed into a force of creativity, intelligence, and courage. The Intergalactic Council, which had once voted to enslave the planet, was now forced to reconsider everything it thought it knew about humans. Dr. Maria Torres and Colonel Carlos Vega stood in the underground command center, reviewing reports from every operation. Humans had resisted every attempt to dominate them, used technology and strategy in ways the aliens could not predict, and even forged alliances with other species who respected Earth's determination. The planet had survived, and more than that, it had proven itself a worthy member of the galactic community. "They are no longer afraid," Maria said, looking at the monitors. "They realize that humans cannot be controlled. And they respect us for it," Carlos nodded. "It took creativity, courage, and unity, and humanity showed the galaxy all three. Now we must decide how to respond to the council. We survived, but the story isn't over. It is time to be heard, not just defended." The council sent a representative to Earth, not as a conqueror, but as a diplomat. A massive, sleek ship hovered above a peaceful city, and from it descended an emissary with calm, intelligent eyes. The aliens had finally realized that Earth could not be ruled through fear, and they had come to apologize and negotiate. Maria and Carlos met with the emissary. "We are listening," Maria said. "But know this: Earth will never submit to control. We protect ourselves, our planet, and our people. We will not be threatened, intimidated, or enslaved." The alien emissary bowed slightly. "We understand. The council misjudged your species. Your intelligence, courage, and unity were underestimated. It is clear now that humans cannot be controlled. We come to offer reconciliation, not conflict." For the first time in centuries, humans experienced a sense of closure. The council had tried to enslave them, to dominate their world, but it had failed. Now, the very beings who had once judged them harshly were asking for understanding and forgiveness. Across the planet, people watched as alien diplomats addressed the global population through broadcasts. "Citizens of Earth," one said, "we recognize our error. Your species has demonstrated extraordinary strength, ingenuity, and resilience. The Council apologizes for the decision to enslave your planet. We ask for your forgiveness and seek a path forward built on respect, cooperation, and mutual understanding." The message was unprecedented. Entire generations of humans had grown up believing that advanced civilizations were beyond their reach. Now those civilizations were acknowledging that Earth was worthy of respect, not control. Maria and Carlos returned to the Coalition Command Center to discuss the response. "We have the power to forgive," Maria said, "because we have survived. We do not seek revenge. We want acknowledgement, respect, and the freedom to continue as a sovereign planet." Carlos agreed. "Forgiveness is not weakness. It is proof of strength. We have shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of, and now we show that we can rise above conflict with wisdom and courage." The coalition drafted a message to the council, emphasizing that humans valued freedom, creativity, and cooperation. They acknowledged the apology, but reminded the council that Earth could never be subjugated again. The message was delivered carefully, diplomatically, and firmly. As the days passed, the Intergalactic Council held emergency meetings. Many representatives admitted that Earth had changed their understanding of intelligent life. A species they had once considered primitive had proven capable of strategic thinking, creativity, and unity beyond anything they had expected. Other civilizations voiced support for humans, emphasizing that no species should ever be underestimated. On Earth, celebrations were subdued but heartfelt. People from all walks of life participated in events to honor humanity's courage and ingenuity. Schools held assemblies discussing creativity, problem-solving, and the importance of unity. Engineers demonstrated the clever systems they had built, and volunteers shared their experiences of contributing to the planet's defense. Maria visited several cities to speak to the people. "We faced the greatest challenge in our history," she said. "We were threatened by forces beyond our imagination. And yet we survived, not because of brute strength, but because of intelligence, creativity, courage, and unity. Humanity has shown the galaxy that we cannot be controlled, only respected," Carlos added. "This is not just a victory for soldiers or scientists. It is a victory for every person who contributed, every family who stayed strong, and every community that worked together. Humanity's strength lies in all of us." The alien emissaries observed these events with interest. They were learning from humans, realizing that strength was not only in weapons and numbers but in adaptability, intelligence, and the collective spirit of a species. The Council formally recognized Earth's sovereignty and revoked their previous vote to enslave the planet. The emissary announced this to the world. "Earth is free. Your species has earned respect across the galaxy. We apologize for our previous decision and pledge to approach future interactions with humility and understanding." For the first time, humans felt true recognition from the galaxy. They had faced an unimaginable threat, survived, and shown that intelligence, courage, and unity could overcome even the most advanced forces. Humanity's reputation had been forever transformed. Maria and Carlos stood together one evening, watching the sunset over a peaceful city. "We did it," Maria said softly. "We survived. We defended our home, and we proved that humans are capable of extraordinary things." Carlos smiled. "And we continue to show the galaxy that humanity is not just a species to be ruled or underestimated. We are thinkers, creators, and protectors. That is our legacy." The planet slowly returned to normal life, but the people had changed. They were stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. Children learned about the events not as a tale of fear but as a story of human courage and ingenuity. Schools taught critical thinking and problem-solving as essential skills. Communities remained vigilant but hopeful, knowing that unity and intelligence were the keys to survival. Across the galaxy, Earth became a symbol. Other species admired humans not only for their technological achievements but for their resilience, creativity, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. The Intergalactic Council itself had been humbled, learning a lesson it would never forget. No species, no matter how young or seemingly weak, could be underestimated. Maria and Carlos continued their work, guiding humanity's efforts to explore space responsibly. They encouraged collaboration, innovation, and diplomacy with other species. Earth had proven its strength, but it also learned the value of communication, alliances, and strategic thinking. One day, as the sun rose over the horizon, Maria and Carlos walked through a park filled with children. The young ones played, laughed, and dreamed of the stars. Maria knelt to speak to a small group. "Remember," she said, "no matter how big the challenge, you can overcome it. Humans are clever, brave, and united. You are the future of our planet, and one day you will help guide it among the stars." Carlos added, "And always remember, intelligence, courage, and unity are more powerful than any weapon. Together, humans can face anything. Together, we protect our home and shape our destiny." The children listened, wide-eyed, inspired by the story of humanity's triumph. They represented the next generation, a generation that would continue to innovate, explore, and protect their world. Far above, alien ships passed by Earth without threat or hostility. The galaxy had learned that humans were not to be conquered but respected. A species that had once faced enslavement had risen to earn its place among the stars. Maria looked up at the sky and smiled. "We survived. We protected our planet, and we taught the galaxy a lesson about the strength of the human spirit." Carlos stood beside her, gazing at the horizon. "This is our victory, not just for humans, but for every species that values courage, intelligence, and freedom. Humanity has shown that even the smallest planet can produce the greatest spirit." The sun continued to rise, casting golden light over Earth. Humanity had endured, survived, and triumphed. The Council's vote had failed, but the lesson of Earth's resilience had reached every corner of the galaxy. Humanity had proven that fear could not control them, threats could not intimidate them, and no force could overcome the power of intelligence, courage, and unity. And as humans looked to the stars, They knew one thing with certainty: their home was safe, their spirit unbroken, and their place in the galaxy earned through bravery, wisdom, and the relentless power of the human heart. Earth had survived the vote to enslave it, and in doing so, had shown the universe the true strength of humanity.